The restaurant fell silent as Emma stormed out, her mocking laughter echoing behind her. But when retired Colonel James Mitchell locked eyes with the man his daughter had just humiliated, a single father still wearing his dusty military boots, everything changed. What happened next would remind everyone that sometimes, the most powerful connections form in our most vulnerable moments. If this story touches your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more stories that reveal the extraordinary humanity in ordinary lives. The evening had started like any other at Bellini's, the upscale Italian restaurant nestled in the heart of downtown. Soft jazz played in the background as waiters in crisp white shirts navigated between tables draped in burgundy cloth. Through the large windows, the city lights twinkled like earthbound stars against the darkening sky. Emma Mitchell adjusted her designer dress for the third time, checking her reflection in her phone camera. At 32, she had grown weary of the dating scene, especially blind dates arranged by well-meaning friends. But Melissa had insisted this one would be different. "He's kind, hard-working, and has the most adorable daughter," she'd said. Emma had reluctantly agreed, if only to silence her friend's persistent matchmaking efforts. When the hostess approached her table, Emma straightened her posture and put on her most charming smile. But the smile faltered when she saw the man following behind. Daniel Carter was not what she had expected. His button-up shirt was slightly wrinkled, and though he'd clearly made an effort, his haircut was simple and practical rather than stylish. Most noticeably, he wore work boots that, despite an obvious attempt to clean them, still carried traces of dust and wear. "Emma?" he asked, his voice warm but uncertain. "Yes," she replied, her tone already cooling. "You must be Daniel." He nodded, settling into the chair across from her. "Sorry if I'm a little underdressed. I came straight from work, Anne." "No worries," Emma cut him off, though her expression suggested otherwise. "What kind of work do you do?" "Construction management," Daniel replied. "We're renovating the Veterans Center downtown. Today was hands-on because we were short-handed." Emma nodded politely, but her eyes had already begun to wander around the restaurant. Daniel noticed but pressed on. "Melissa mentioned you work in marketing? That sounds fascinating." The conversation limped along through appetizers. Emma answered his questions with minimal elaboration, checking her phone whenever possible. When Daniel mentioned his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, Emma's interest briefly flickered. "She sounds sweet," Emma said. "Who's watching her tonight?" "My neighbor Mrs. Gonzalez. She's been a godsend since my wife passed." Emma's eyes widened slightly. "Oh, I'm sorry. Melissa didn't mention that." Daniel nodded, his eyes momentarily distant. "It's been 3 years. Cancer. Lily was just 4 when it happened." An uncomfortable silence fell between them. Emma shifted in her seat, clearly unsure how to respond to this revelation. "Anyway," Daniel continued, forcing brightness into his voice, "Lily's doing great now. She's into space and dinosaurs, sometimes space dinosaurs. She makes up these stories about Triceratops astronauts that are pretty creative." Emma smiled tightly. When the waiter came to take their entree orders, she excused herself to the restroom. In the elegant bathroom, Emma pulled out her phone and texted Melissa, "Seriously? A construction worker with baggage? And he showed up in work boots." Melissa's reply came quickly, "Give him a chance. He's one of the kindest men I know." Emma rolled her eyes and tucked her phone away. When she returned to the table, she'd made her decision. "Listen, Daniel," she began, not quite meeting his eyes. "You seem nice, but I don't think this is going to work out. I have an early meeting tomorrow, so I should probably call it a night." Daniel's face fell slightly, but he nodded. "I understand. No hard feelings." "Great," Emma said, already gathering her purse. "Good luck with everything." As she stood to leave, her gaze drifted to the entrance of the restaurant, where an older couple was being seated. Her stomach dropped. Her parents, her father in his wheelchair, her mother guiding him, were being led to a table near the window. Emma froze, caught between her exit and the unexpected appearance of her parents. Before she could decide what to do, her father spotted her and waved. "Emma," he called, his voice carrying across the restaurant. What a surprise. Trapped, Emma forced a smile and approached their table, aware that Daniel was watching curiously from behind. "Dad, Mom," she greeted them with quick kisses on their cheeks. "I didn't know you were coming here tonight." "Your mother wanted Italian," her father explained, his eyes crinkling with affection as he glanced at his wife of 40 years. "What about you? Are you here with someone?" Emma hesitated. "Just finishing up a quick business dinner," she lied. "Actually, I was just leaving." Her father's keen eyes looked past her to where Daniel still sat. "Is that your colleague? Invite him over." "Dad, really, we were done." But James Mitchell was already waving Daniel over. Reluctantly, Emma turned to see Daniel approaching, a polite smile on his face. "Sir, ma'am," he greeted them respectfully. "Join us for a moment," James insisted. "I'm James Mitchell, Emma's father, and this is her mother, Catherine." "Daniel Carter," he replied, shaking James's hand firmly. "It's a pleasure to meet you both." Emma shifted uncomfortably. "Daniel was just leaving too." "Nonsense," Catherine said. "At least sit for a moment. Are you a colleague of Emma's?" Before Emma could intervene with another lie, Daniel answered honestly. "Actually, we were on a blind date. A mutual friend set us up." Emma's cheeks burned with embarrassment, especially when her father's eyebrows rose in surprise. "A date? Well, how's it going?" James asked. Daniel glanced at Emma, then back to her father. "I think we've established we're not a match, sir." James studied Daniel more carefully, noting his work boots and the calluses on his hands. "What line of work are you in, son?" "Construction management, sir. But before that, I served 8 years in the Army. 10th Mountain Division." James's expression changed instantly. The retired colonel sat up straighter in his wheelchair, his eyes sharpening with interest. 10th Mountain? I was 1st Infantry myself. 3 tours in Afghanistan. I did 2 in Afghanistan, 1 in Iraq, Daniel replied. Emma watched in disbelief as her father's face lit up. The two men began exchanging stories about their service, locations they'd been stationed, and people they might both know. "What happened?" Daniel finally asked, gesturing discreetly to the wheelchair. "IED on my last tour," James answered matter-of-factly. "Took my legs but not my spirit, as Catherine likes to remind me." Catherine smiled softly, placing her hand over her husband's. "He's too stubborn to let anything keep him down for long." "I understand that mindset," Daniel said. "After my wife died, I had to stay strong for my daughter." "You have a child?" Catherine asked. "A 7-year-old daughter, Lily. She's my whole world." James and Catherine exchanged a look that Emma recognized, the same look they gave each other when they were silently communicating their approval or disapproval of something. "Single father, veteran, working man," James said thoughtfully. Then, to Emma's utter mortification, he turned to her. "And you were just going to walk out on him?" "Dad!" Emma hissed. "What?" "I'm just saying, in my day, we valued character over fancy appearances." Emma felt her face grow hot. "You don't understand." "I think I do," James interrupted. Then, to everyone's surprise, he straightened in his wheelchair and raised his right hand in a formal military salute to Daniel. "Thank you for your service, son, both to your country and to your daughter. That takes a special kind of courage." Daniel, visibly moved, returned the salute crisply. "Thank you, sir." The restaurant had grown quiet, other diners watching the exchange with interest. Emma stood frozen, suddenly seeing Daniel through her father's eyes, not as an underdressed construction worker, but as a man who had sacrificed for his country and who was raising a child alone after unimaginable loss. "I should get going," Daniel said after a moment. "Mrs. Gonzalez needs to get home, and Lily will want her bedtime story." He turned to Emma. "It was nice meeting you, Emma. I wish you all the best." As he turned to leave, Catherine spoke up. "Why don't you bring Lily to Sunday dinner this weekend? James loves telling his war stories to new audiences, and I make a chocolate cake that's apparently legendary according to the neighborhood children. Daniel looked surprised, then glanced at Emma, who was staring at her mother in disbelief. "That's very kind, but I wouldn't want to impose," he said diplomatically. James waved away his concern. "Nonsense. We insist. 4 o'clock on Sunday. Emma can text you the address." Emma finally found her voice. "Dad, Mom, you can't just—" "Emma Jean Mitchell," her father said, using her full name as he had when she was a child in trouble, "sometimes you need to look beyond the surface. I thought we raised you better than to judge a book by its cover." The rebuke stung, especially because deep down, Emma knew he was right. She had dismissed Daniel based on superficial observations without giving him a real chance. Daniel, sensing her discomfort, tried to ease the tension. "It's getting late, and I really should go. It was an honor meeting you both." As he turned to leave again, Emma made a split-second decision. "Daniel, wait. Let me walk you out." Surprised, he nodded, and they walked together toward the exit, leaving her parents watching from their table. Outside in the cool evening air, Emma took a deep breath. "I'm sorry about my parents. They can be intrusive." Daniel smiled. "They seem wonderful, actually. Your dad reminds me of my commanding officer, tough but fair." Emma hesitated, then said what she knew she needed to say. "I'm also sorry about earlier. I was rude and judgmental, and you didn't deserve that." "It's okay," Daniel replied. "Not everyone is looking for a package deal with a widower and a 7-year-old. "It wasn't that," Emma admitted. "It was the boots, the wrinkled shirt. I made assumptions without getting to know you. That was wrong of me." Daniel looked down at his boots and chuckled. "Yeah, not exactly first date material. I should have changed after work, but the babysitter could only stay until 9, and I didn't want to be late." Emma felt another pang of guilt. "For what it's worth, my dad doesn't salute just anyone. He must have seen something special in you. Your dad seems like a good man who raised a daughter capable of admitting when she's made a mistake. That says something good about both of you." Emma smiled, genuinely this time. "So, Sunday dinner? You don't have to come just because they ambushed you." Daniel considered for a moment. "Actually, Lily would love to meet a real colonel. She's going through a military phase, wants to be a space soldier when she grows up." "Space soldier?" "Protecting Earth from alien invasions," Daniel explained with a proud father's smile. "She has it all figured out." Emma found herself laughing, a real laugh this time. "She sounds amazing." "She is," Daniel agreed. "So, maybe we'll see you Sunday?" "No pressure, but I think your dad might hunt me down if I don't show up now." "He absolutely would," Emma confirmed. "His reconnaissance skills haven't diminished with age." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, the awkwardness of their failed date somehow transformed by the unexpected intervention of her parents. "I should go," Daniel finally said. "Good night, Emma." "Good night, Daniel." As she watched him walk to his truck, a practical, slightly weathered vehicle that matched its owner, Emma felt something shift inside her. She returned to the restaurant, where her parents were now enjoying their appetizers. "That was quite a show," she said, sliding into a chair at their table. Her father looked unapologetic. "Sometimes you need a little push to see what's right in front of you." He's just a stranger Dad arranged a dinner with, Emma protested, but without much conviction. Catherine reached across the table and patted her daughter's hand. Sweetheart, your father and I were strangers once too. Sometimes the best people come into our lives when we least expect them, and often not in the packaging we thought we wanted. Emma thought about Daniel, about his honest eyes, the gentle way he spoke about his daughter, the respect he'd shown her parents despite her rudeness to him. Maybe there was more to him than work boots and a wrinkled shirt. He's coming on Sunday, she admitted. With his daughter. James smiled triumphantly. Good. I'll tell him about the time I had to eat bugs to survive in the jungle. Dad. You'll terrify the poor child. Nonsense. Kids love gross stories. It's a scientific fact. Emma couldn't help but laugh, imagining the little girl with her space soldier dreams meeting her father with his endless supply of military tales. Sunday arrived with unexpected nervousness for Emma. She found herself at her parents' house an hour early, helping her mother prepare the meal and setting the table with the good china they usually reserved for holidays. You're putting in quite an effort for someone you weren't interested in, Catherine observed with a knowing smile. I'm just being polite, Emma insisted, though she had changed outfits 3 times before arriving. At precisely 4 o'clock, the doorbell rang. Emma's heart jumped as she went to answer it, smoothing her dress as she walked. Daniel stood on the porch, looking much more comfortable in dark jeans and a blue button-down shirt that brought out the color of his eyes. Beside him stood a small girl with dark pigtails and a gap-toothed smile, clutching a handmade card. Hi, Emma said, suddenly shy. Come in. This is Lily, Daniel introduced his daughter. Lily, this is Miss Emma. Hello, Lily said politely. Is the Colonel here? Daddy said he was in real wars. Emma laughed. Yes, he's in the living room, probably planning his storytelling strategy as we speak. They entered the house, and James's face lit up at the sight of the little girl. Well, hello there, recruit. I hear you're interested in military service. Lily nodded enthusiastically. Yes, sir. In space. Space, eh? That's advanced tactics. I like your ambition. Lily beamed and presented him with her card. I made this for you. It's a thank you for protecting our country. James opened the card to find a crayon drawing of a soldier standing beside an American flag. His eyes misted slightly as he looked at it. This is the finest card I've ever received, soldier. Thank you. The dinner that followed was nothing like Emma had expected. Lily charmed everyone with her imagination and questions, while Daniel revealed himself to be thoughtful, funny, and deeply kind. He helped Catherine serve the food, discussed home renovation with James, and gently guided Lily's enthusiasm when it threatened to overwhelm the dinner conversation. After dessert, the chocolate cake that lived up to its legendary status, James invited Daniel to see his collection of military memorabilia in the den. Lily had fallen asleep on the couch, worn out from excitement and sugar. Emma sat beside the sleeping child, gently stroking her hair. Catherine watched her daughter with a smile. She's a special little girl, Catherine said softly. She is, Emma agreed. Smart, funny, kind, just like her dad. Catherine raised an eyebrow. So you've noticed his good qualities now? Emma blushed. I was shallow and judgmental. I almost missed out on meeting them both because I was focused on all the wrong things. It's never too late to change course, Catherine said wisely. Your father and I eloped after knowing each other for just 3 weeks. Everyone said we were crazy, but sometimes you just know when something feels right. From the den, they could hear James and Daniel laughing together, the easy camaraderie of 2 soldiers who understood each other's experiences without needing explanations. When it was time to leave, Daniel carefully lifted his sleeping daughter into his arms. Thank you for dinner, he said to Catherine. It was the best meal we've had in a long time. You're welcome anytime, she replied warmly. James wheeled himself forward and extended his hand to Daniel. "Son, it's been a pleasure. You're raising a fine daughter there." "Thank you, sir. That means a lot coming from you." Emma walked them to the door, suddenly reluctant to see them leave. "I'll walk you to your truck," she offered.